Good evening. I'm back for another one. Now, probably back with another travel tale tonight. I Maybe it's not even travel tale, more of a travel observation. 2023, I was gonna have my first ever sober traveling experience. Look, I'll tell the whole story another time. But like I bought a motorcycle. I got Nicola, who I told on a previous story, to source me a motorcycle. That's a story for another time too. I'll add to that another time. Um, but the idea of the trip was, I'm not drinking. What am I going to do to, I can't go to bars. What am I going to do when I'm traveling? So I took up long distance running, and I must have read Cam Haynes' book that got me excited. I was gonna, be all you can be, and I was gonna be a fucking long distance runner. So I entered 3 ultra marathons, but only the mid range ultra marathons. The first one was like 76 kilometers. I made 30 kilometers out of that. The second one was 45, and I made it like 21 kilometers through that. I took a wrong turn and ended up finishing at the 21 kilometer finish line. And the third one was a 60k that I did 40 k's on. But that's not the focus of this story. Nicola, he asked me, where am I going? Like I was travelling through the Balkans. I picked up this motorcycle from him in his little village of Umka outside of Belgrade. Where are you going first? He said, I'm going to Bulgaria. Why the fuck would you go to Bulgaria? It's terrible places. They're all criminals. The women are prostitutes. Every any insult you could ever give to a full race of people, he threw at them. And I said, no, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think Bulgarians, I'm sure they're lovely people. I heard Serbs are fucking assholes everywhere I went. When I went through Croatia and Bosnia, especially, they told me what assholes Serbs are. You're gonna hate it there. I went there and they were the loveliest people we've ever met. So I've gone to Bulgaria, and I spent like 3 weeks there. I did 10 weeks in Europe at this point in time, so I spent 3 weeks just in Bulgaria. Now that was probably like a week and a half too long. I could have seen everything I needed to see in a good 8-9 days, I think. But anyway, all these different places I went to, I'm thinking, these people aren't all criminals. They're not the women aren't all prostitutes. They're not that bad, but I don't know what it is. I just, it was almost like it wasn't that I didn't feel welcome. It was that, I couldn't work it out. But after probably 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, I realised it's just Bulgarians are the worst nation for hospitality I've ever seen in my life. Just for the simple fact that you'll walk into a restaurant, a bar, a shop, doesn't matter what it is, and they'll see you looking around, and almost without fail, they'll just not even turn their back, but they'll just pay you absolutely no mind. There's not even come over to you speaking in Bulgarian. No, there's no, can I help you? What can I help you with? Would you like something? Here's a menu. There's none of that. You've got to actually call them and say, look, I'm ready to order now. mate, you take, bring over your little fucking notepad and take my order. And yeah, um, that was pretty much the entire observation I made. And obviously it wasn't like that everywhere I went. I went to like a ski resort. It was in the middle of summer, so there was no skiing going on, but it was still a touristy sort of area. People knew hospitality there. But I'm talking about I was hanging out in the countryside and stopping at bars on the way here and there. Not bars, but like roadside restaurants, and yeah, you had to garçon come and serve me. Um, anyway, yeah. So I've recently been working with a Croatian guy, and I was telling him all about my travels through the Balkans, and he loves hearing the stories because I've got nothing but great things to say about anywhere in the Balkans. And I told him about Bulgaria, and he was like, "Well, what do you think about Bulgaria?" And I was like, I told him they don't know hospitality, and he's like, "Yes, they are fucking weirdos." Like, anyway, yeah, I don't think they're weirdos. That was someone else's words, not mine. But yeah, if you go to Bulgaria, you'll see.